Yes, welcome back guys. In today's video, I want to be sharing some experience and knowledge I've gained in the past year to reach that six-figure mark by the age of 21. Now before I get into this video, be sure to subscribe and drop a like if you haven't already done so. Learning a skill is by far the most important habit that I'll be going over out of the six. Now this has single-handedly acquired me with the tools to generate that cash flow. We do hear this advice being thrown around everywhere and I do feel as though it's lost its meaning. Having put 6 years into my craft and falling in love with the journey, being consistent day in and day out is what it really means to learn a skill. Now I heard this quote by Sagin Yelchin where he said, even if you have a 1% chance at success, try 100 times. Now this really resonated with me as I could remember feeling defeated and that I would never become a good trader at the start of my journey. But that discipline to stay consistent and master that skill is what really makes the difference between those that do master it and the ones that just quit. Luckily for me, money management wasn't really an issue that I had. But now that I reflect upon it, it definitely was a good habit to have to generate that long-term wealth. Now everyone would manage their finances differently, but at the end of the day the formula is pretty simple. You just want to spend less than you make, and adopting that mindset of living below your means is even something that I personally do. Now another way I manage my money, which I would also recommend you guys to do, is pay yourself first. Now this might sound a bit counterintuitive as we're brought up in society to pay your bills, to pay your rent and groceries, and then pay yourself. And this is exactly why the average household only saves 8% of their income. This can be a very destructive habit. Whereas on the other hand, having an allowance and making sure you cover all your expenses within that budget and saving the rest is a much more effective approach. Take me for example, I will only spend 5% of my total income for the month, saving 95%. Setting this type of system in place will keep you away from bad debt and have you spending within your budget. Now when I first started doing research into businesses and ways to make money, the best thing I would do is just gain a bit of experience, gain a bit of knowledge about the thing I was wanting to execute and just getting started. Now a problem I see a lot of people doing is the over preparation of making sure you know everything you know before you execute. Now don't get me wrong, yes it is important to have enough knowledge so you're not wasting time and you know what you're getting yourself into, but no matter how much preparation you do into learning something, there's always going to be hurdles and things which you didn't account for coming into place. Now that's just life and there's just too many variables. By learning on the job and from the mistakes you've made, in my opinion, is a much better way of cementing the lessons you've learned and making sure you're able to grow from it. Following the path of those that came before you. Now this has to be one of the most underrated things, especially nowadays with the culture of not being a sheep. I can tell you from first-hand experience that if you have an idea or a business venture you want to start, chances are someone has already done it before you. So why not just follow their footsteps and imitate exactly what they've done? It's a tried and tested method. We now live in a time where we have access to so many successful people's lives. I mean, look at YouTube. YouTube in and of itself is such a great tool to look up to and study the people you want to become, analyzing their moves, reaching out to them, copying what they've done to reach the goals that you aspire to achieve. When I was doing research for this video, I came across a shocking fact that only 20% of people set goals for themselves. How many of you right now have no goals? Now I don't mean unfulfilled statements which have no meaning. Saying that you're going to become rich or a consistently profitable trader isn't going to help you in achieving that. Personally, what I do is I'll write the outcome I want to achieve for myself, such as reaching 7 figures in funding. Then below that in bullet points, I'll write down the actionable steps I'm going to take in reaching that goal. Then it just comes down to being consistent and disciplined to stick to the plan. Having a why is also an important factor. It can get tough sometimes, and having that why, that driving factor as to why you're hustling so hard, can really help you keep going. That's exactly why we see so many people that have come from nothing become so successful, because they have that why, that fear in them to not go back into that same position, and that is their why as to why they're hustling. Some people might have their why be family or children and giving them a better future. Whatever it may be, you need to have that strong will to keep going even if you hit a dead end. This happened to me in my trading journey where no matter what I did or how many hours I put into the charts, it just wasn't enough. And in those moments, remembering my why was what kept me strong and kept me pushing forward. Now I want to end this point by saying a famous quote by Viktor Frankl. He said that he who has a why can bear almost any how. Anyway, so I hope you guys did find this video informative and helping you in your journey to reaching your goals. If you did, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and if you have any other suggestions, do be sure to drop it in the comment section down below.